Brazil case.
The Brazil case is not solved yet.
Rolling West. All right, it's enough cringe for the start.
Yeah.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our 2 Cents podcast. We will be. I'm Chris. To the gentleman to my
front.
To the front.
To my front.
It's been a long day.
Very long.
For some, we will be reviewing the third episode of Brew Detective, HBO's hit series, or AKA HBO's series before Game of Thrones.
Right.
To kind of fill up time.
Yeah, that's
JK, True Detective on its own, GOAT.
Yeah.
Anyway, episode 3 just aired this Sunday.
2 nights ago, yep.
So this is the first standalone.
Yep.
Let's get straight into it, all right?
Yeah.
If you guys haven't seen the first two, you should be checking this out. If you haven't seen the first two, you should. Okay. This episode, in my opinion, is the calm before the storm. That's how I look at it.
Okay.
This episode, I think, has set everything into place.
Okay.
Because I think, unfortunately, this episode, I feel like, is going to suffer as the previous is just like the build-up for the next episode. Because I think the next episode is when shit starts hitting the fan.
Okay.
You know? But I do think there's a lot of good stuff in this week. Good stuff in this episode. And it's things we already enjoyed. And I think it sets up a lot of routes that we know that we kind of had a feeling it was going to take. But now, like, I think it's good because it sets up a little bit of unpredictability.
Okay.
I don't know about you.
Yeah, there's some new potential suspects. I feel some suspects get reaffirmed here as potential suspects, and then we have new suspects enter the fold as well. Some very sus suspects. Yeah, like case in point, I think is with the Native American gentleman, the guy who collects trash.
Collects me.
Yeah, so he gets attacked, and by the rest of the sort of the white posse of the town,
the Southerners,
who take it upon themselves to dish out violence, a la Batman. Just six Batmans going at it.
Have some violence.
Well, justice, right, in their sense. But yeah, they go ahead and beat up the guy. It's quite hard to watch at times, and his reaction after is what's pivotal here, because he goes home and he takes out this massive bag that looks like it holds weapons. It can hold weapons, or it can hold a child's body. You pick one, right? I still don't think it's him, though. I think that's too on the nose, if you will. I don't think it's him. We have some new suspects as well. There's this implication that perhaps this might be a religiously corrupted individual, as well as we had sort of in that first season, where we have Mahershala Ali or Purple Haze figure out that the young boy's position and his death was very similar to his position at communion. All right, so it's this hint that perhaps it's somebody in the church. Again, I still don't think that's a thing. I still don't think it's anybody from the church. I think that'd be too on the nose of what the first season was. And perhaps we haven't even met the actual person. But I think episode 3, rather, I think what's big for me is you learn about Roland West a lot more.
Yep.
Which I was really looking forward to, because he is a magnificent actor, I think.
Dorff. My boy Stephen Dorff.
Yeah, he's a great actor. And I think the way he carries his character forward, especially in his older age, in that middle timeline, I think is really cool. It's really interesting. He doesn't have that same spunk about him that he maybe has in his first timeline. He's a lot more like not willing to fight. Like he, in that first 2 episodes, I think him and Mahershala have this back and forth about the race comment that Mahershala makes. And he gets really upset. He gets riled up about it. And Mahershala delivers what could potentially be considered an even worse attack on sort of him saying that, you didn't win it by merit, you won it by your race, basically, his position as chief, I guess, whatever he is. And he doesn't really respond.
Like, he knows.
So it's this signaling of their relationship has matured more than in that first timeline, but also he's been through enough shit to not be like, not to take it a certain way from him. And they joke about it. Oh, I didn't mean it. You kind of did. Yeah, I kind of did, right? So,
good.
That's a good...
That's good writing.
That's a great back and forth. I think the two of them are really good together.
Yeah.
I was a little worried in the first 2 episodes it was going to be just Mahershala Ali doing his thing.
Yeah, that was the common concern with us.
Yeah, and it was really fun to see him tell the story as well. Again, we're taking it with a grain of salt here. The two stories are not only in sync with one another, but also correct, right?
Yeah.
So there's this additional layer of complexity here in the fact that Roland West might be telling his perspective of Hayes' story, right?
Which might be more correct because...
Who knows? It might be more correct or less correct. Like, we don't know, right?
Which could be... Well, we say it could be more correct because Hayes is battling dementia.
Yeah, so this is the thing also in the show. They make this comment that perhaps it's not dementia, right? So they're in the office with the doctor, and he makes the comment about, you don't know what it is. And then the doctor goes, well, we certainly know what it isn't, right? So they don't even have his condition pinned down, right? So even that's up in the air in his, oldest timeline.
Well, I mean, it's some type of memory loss.
Yeah, definitely.
It's something like that.
Some delusional, things happen. He sees his very young wife when he's very old as well.
Yeah, all right, we'll get to that part eventually.
Sure.
Yeah, I do agree with you that I am also glad that we got the Roland West character development a little bit. Again, I also like that they're, because it's even in 1990, which 10 years after the accident happens, they're still cool.
The crime, yeah.
That's a relief for me because it's kind of a deviation from the first season. Because again, anyone who's seen the first season,
they're constantly going at it. Even after like the case, there's still that little tension. But I do like this one. For me, you take the routes that they're going in. Right.
Do you think this is a question? Do you think that they might be purposely going to too many routes to kind of take away from the audience?
Oh, of course. I mean, there's several red herrings, I feel, and you need to because of this is an HBO show, so they're not gonna spoon feed you what's happening, right?
But that rightfully so, though.
Yeah. The thing that I'm very interested in right now is the 3 timelines have now all somehow got Mahershala Ali's character investigating this crime.
Yeah.
So the oldest one, so the youngest timeline, right? So the 80s one, he's in the middle of it with Roland. In the second one, they have just gotten back to it after 10 years. And in the third one, he's going back to it alone. Right. With his mental sort of state degrading as the days go by. So we're going to have 3 very different perspectives on how this case is investigated, right? This third one looks to be filled with guilt and remorse. After what you said, quote, NYU girl tells this guy, tells Hayes that there's evidence they didn't look at. Yeah. Right? And so that was huge.
Yeah.
Do you think he knows that evidence wasn't looked at?
I don't know. Again, hashtag Mahershala Mania. Yes. This season. Yes. Because he's so good. I don't know. Maybe it's because it could credit his acting as to maybe he's just maybe he does know, but he's just hiding it. Okay. But I don't think so because again they talk about this in the previous episodes that he feels like that the case is kind of anticlimactic. It kind of suddenly.
Right. No. So I mean, in the oldest version of him, when his wife ghost tells him they're gonna find what you left in the woods. Right. Do you think that has something to do with evidence he left, buried, something?
Okay. Now that you put that, I could see that.
You think so?
I'm not. I see. Yeah. Okay. Not confident. Sure. But I could see it happening. I was very interested though because what a compelling ass part of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's his consciousness talking to him, right? I mean, it's not a real thing. So, I
mean, I'm watching with my mom, and she's like, "Wait, what?" I'm like, "I don't know."
Yeah, I think it's his consciousness speaking to him a little bit.
This is just a prediction. Sure. But if you watch the intro, of the season, there's a part of him in the younger version where he's shirtless and there's a fire. Yeah. That might correlate, I feel like. He's trying to burn
Good catch. Yeah, maybe. Maybe, definitely something.
That's me, guys. That's all me.
Zero Reddit reading.
No, not at all. No, that was seriously me. Being mad smug here, but
there's also that new dude with the farmhouse who happened to be nearby where the kids lied about and would go play in the forest.
Yeah, and he's being mad sus about again. OD sus this.
Yeah,
this
he mentions like there was this brown sedan that would come by with this black gentleman and white lady, and this black gentleman had a scar on his face, and they would drive by. Very pie in the sky details, really nothing to work with.
You better have a warrant if you want to search my house. Like, okay,
also
man.
Suspect, yeah.
All right, Jesus.
Yeah.
And also we got a little another institution involved, Hoyt Foods.
Yeah. This is weird because the president, it seems, has these foundations that he gives money to, right? And the show has pretty much put it in the viewers' heads that anytime a big organization wants to do something that seems for the greater good on the surface, there's almost always malicious intent underneath, right?
It smells like American consumerism to me. That's just me.
Okay, dog. All right. And with that,
no, I mean, they're like offering $10,000.
Yeah.
Is it Hoyt Foods that offers it?
It's Hoyt Foods, I think, that has and then they mentioned that they didn't really speak to the detectives about putting out the bounty.
Yeah, they kind of did it their own.
They did it with the chief, with the office. The chief.
This is it.
This ain't it.
Okay.
They did it with the chief, and then this is more evidence that the office is disconnected from the detectives, and probably more so because of who Mahershala is playing. Obviously, he's an African American cop. So there's this continuing lack of respect for him, and they mentioned this. The way that he was fired was done in a very unceremonious fashion, to the point where when Roland and that chief or whoever it is are having a conversation, Roland tells him like, did he give you shit? And he was like, no, he didn't give me shit. Right. So clearly there's something that happened to get him off this case that was unjust, I feel.
But it was very pre-planned.
Maybe.
Possibly.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely some intentions there that I think they're definitely going to explore. I think we're going to see in the next episode why he got fired in the way he got fired, right? Because that's more important.
Yeah, no, this is a common thing. It's only been 2 seasons of True Detective, but see, episode 4 is when usually shit hits the fan.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is supposed to be 8 episodes, so this is the halfway point, and I think you're always going to need that one episode to bring it into loop. So we're looking at 3 episodes left to ramp up the tension, lead to the actual investigation, result, and then bring us down from that. So that all has to happen in 3 to 4 episodes. So yeah, I think episode 4 really has to start picking it up. Not that I don't like what's happening so far.
No, I think so far so good.
Yeah. Like if this was 10 episodes, I wouldn't mind the next one being at this pace.
But again, you're at 8, so you kind of have to quick it up a little bit.
Yep.
Quick it up.
Makes sense.
Rap song. I'm trying. What did you think of? Oh, I thought 2 very good scenes in my opinion.
Go ahead.
The supermarket. Well, not the supermarket.
With his daughter again. With his daughter.
So but now you gotta have to explain that.
Yeah. It's always the daughter, man. It's always the daughter that seems to escape him, right? That he's constantly in fear of, small girls in his life, essentially, right? That's a very heartbreaking scene because this is after the crime happened.
The Purcell case.
The Purcell case is still open, right? This is after that. So he's carrying the load of not having found this young girl into his life and now raising his own young... I mean, can you imagine that? Like if you're a detective and your job was to find this... And this was his last case, apparently, right?
Yeah.
And you don't find this young girl and you have your own child and they go missing for a minute.
For 10 minutes.
Your mind is traveling at the worst places at hyperspeed.
Dude, and Mahershala is so good. And he's great in general, but this scene in particular.
You're stuck frozen watching it.
Yeah.
You're very stuck frozen.
I remember watching it. I was just like, oh, D, what the hell?
Yeah, great pick out. Yeah, absolutely fantastic scene.
I think that was even though she's young, it's the beginning of the drift, I feel like.
Yeah, I think he's definitely, I think one of the reasons she may have left is because he was overprotective of her.
Probably. This is the lack of freedom.
It's the lack of freedom, probably. She's in California. I think they're in Arizona or Arkansas, wherever that is.
Singing.
So she seems very disconnected, and I think that could be because he was just an overprotective father, and he didn't want what happened to him and his career to unfold in his own life. Which is difficult to blame. It's difficult to understand. I mean, God, I hope nobody knows what that's like. Because that's absolutely crazy. Crazy pain. Yeah. So, as usual, a happy-go-lucky episode of True Detective.
But in my opinion, another standout scene was the spat he has with his wife.
Yeah.
We're
seeing the cracks also there.
But we're seeing cracks, but we're not... They're not clear cracks. This one was more... He was a little drunk. Well, he was drunk.
Yeah, he'd been drinking and she'd been drinking to try to get this information.
You could tell that she's trying to help out.
Yeah, but he's in a weird spot where I almost understand why he flew off the handle. Because... And by the way, I love the line of, I'm done talking, we're not trading cusses.
Yo, that was that... Yeah, that was awesome.
Such a good line. Such a good way to end the conversation of you want to be a child and curse? Curse. I'm done talking. What? I love the way...
That's a man's way of shutting it down.
Dude, he delivered it with such precision. It was great.
Mahershala
right? Yeah.
Gotta get that in a t-shirt.
But yeah, he... remember, he failed. So this is 10 years after he failed. And here comes his wife, giddy that she has some new information about this. This to him has probably ate him all his life. And I wouldn't be surprised if the reason they break up is because of the book and because of this case.
She exposes, you think?
I don't think she exposes. I think she is willing to keep entertaining this case, and he just wants to put this shit to the grave. I don't think he can. I don't think he can.
He ever will.
Yeah, he can't. But this is something that keeps... And he says it when they're in the car together. He says
that was a good scene, by the way, too.
Yeah, he said...
really good scenes.
Great writing. Great writing. He says it. He says something along the lines of, between me and you is this, in reference to the case. Right? And so, because he sees her with a different approach to uncovering what, he wants to do it almost out of he has his guilt on his shoulders and he wants to get rid of it. So he's not doing this with a smile on his face. Even when Roland asks him to come back, he does it, but you don't see him doing it with let's get her, let's get her now. He's not doing that. I think he's doing it in this manner of, we messed up, we need to clean up the shit the second time around.
Yeah.
Right. And his wife doesn't echo the same sentiment. She's coming in, she's a little bit buzzed. She's kind of happy that she has. And there's nothing wrong with what she did. It's just he's in a different space.
Yeah.
They're just in different spaces.
Well, here's, I think the 90s one, which is the second timeline.
Yeah.
That's where I think. All right, rack it up.
Oh, go ahead.
Rack it up.
Rack it up.
No, I think that's the one where you're gonna see everything unfold.
Right.
I think the next few episodes you're gonna, because I think the last two episodes are gonna focus on the current timeline.
Yeah.
The next two episodes, I think you're gonna see what happened with his wife.
Yeah.
Julie Purcell's daughter.
Yeah.
Because they talk about it. She has a spat with her dad. They talk about it in the first episode.
Yep.
That she has an argument with what happened with Purcell and her dad. You're gonna find out what happened there. There's also a discussion that the dad is apparently framed. People are framing him because remember he talks to Roland. He's just like, you helped me out more than.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are thinking, okay, he helped him kind of get off this image.
Yeah. Who knows?
You know. So I think you're gonna get, again. There's the toys and then there's the scarred man. Again, scarred man. Not to the first season. The lawnmower guy.
He has a scar. Yeah, true that. Demon King something. What was his thing?
Carcosa. The Yellow King.
The Yellow King. It's some creepy shit, man.
Again, I mean, I like the callbacks, like these little callbacks.
I don't think it's connected. I really don't think it's connected.
I don't, but...
Yeah. I think it's doing it to lead people onto that route.
I hope. I really do hope.
I think they're clever enough for that.
But yeah, again, there's a lot of really good scenes.
Yep.
The build-up's getting there. The writing's good. Again, the mixed part for me, where I'm getting at, is that I hope, and I have enough confidence in them to tie it all together.
Yep.
But I'm there's too many things going on, I feel like.
Sure. We'll see.
Because now you got Hoyt Foods available. You got the guy with the brown car.
I think the Native American arc will come to a close. He'll do something in the next episode to bring that to a close.
I think he'll off himself.
Or something. He'll do something. I think that'll finish. They'll start slowly closing loops, I think, as episodes go by.
The side story.
Yeah, and they have to. I don't think they're going to keep them all open and be like, haha, he did it.
The mom dies.
Yeah, the mom dies at one point in Vegas.
Yeah,
she's clearly off the rails.
A lot of jumping back and forth. But the uncle's still there.
The uncle's in the picture.
A lot of sus.
A lot of sus.
Bunch of
suspects.
Bucket of sus sauce.
Szechuan sauce.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We're gonna just end it here. We just keep talking for a while, but we'll end it here. Thanks for listening to our gibberish.
Good episode this week.
Yeah, on episode 3 of True Detective season 3. Thanks for hanging with us as always. Peace.
Deuces.